Before we get into the episode, I am thrilled to announce that the EntreMD Business School is open for enrollment. The EntreMD Business School is the only school of its kind for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. Over the last 2 years, we have had hundreds of doctors go through the school with unbelievable results. Some of them run brands, some of them run private practices, some of them are coaches, some have other kinds of service-based businesses or product-based businesses. And we've had people come in and cross the 6-figure milestone, cross the 7-figure milestone, cross the multiple 7-figure milestone. You will be in a place where you'll get the coaching, the community, the accountability that you need to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in the times that we're in. So maybe you've been following me for a while. Maybe you've been getting so much out of the EntreMD podcast and you've been wondering, how can I work with Dr. Una and the community more? Well, this is your chance. Come join us in the EntreMD Business School. It is application only. So go to entremd.com/business to turn in your application. I cannot tell you how many doctors have made statements like this. I recovered my investment in the first week. I recovered my investment in my bank account in the first 90 days. This is the best investment I've made in myself ever. I want you to have that kind of story, not just a story of building a great business that serves a lot and earns a lot, but having a business that gives you the freedom to live life on your terms. So don't wait any longer. entremd.com/business. And now for the episode. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the EntreMD podcast. Listen, I was getting ready to go to work. Okay, this is a Monday, the day of this recording. So I'm going into Ivy League Pediatrics to see patients. And I was just thinking about this concept. And I was like, you know what? Let me come record this and then I'll go to work. So I'm in my scrubs. I'm all ready to go to work, but I'm taking out this 20 minutes to talk to you and then I'll go. Okay. So before we get into the episode, which is going to be mind blowing, by the way, I want to read out something that a doctor said about the EntreMD podcast. Now, this podcast turned 2 years old last week, which is unbelievable. Okay, 171 episodes, 154,000 downloads, 104 countries, tons of reviews, tons of lives changed, right? It has been the ride of my life. It's been so amazing. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would own a podcast, and I never thought I would have the reach that I have. So this is so humbling and I'm really, really, really grateful for it. So this is Dr. Sarolta Sabo, and she says, life changing. Through your podcast, I connected with you, the EntreMD Business School. I'm changing my leadership style and growing my business. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and happy birthday. Isn't that so amazing? Thank you so much for your kind words, Doc. And thank you for being such a loyal listener and always letting me know how it's changing your life. I'm so honored to know you, to be part of your world, part of your story. Thank you so much. Okay. And if you're here and you've never left us a review, listen, it's our birthday. Okay. So head over to iTunes, go write us a review. Let us know how it's helped you. Okay. All right. So today we're going to be looking at this concept. What if it works? What if it works? And why did I bring this up? Because a lot of times when we have new projects, new ideas we want to implement, new things we want to try to take our businesses forward, there is this fear. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? And today I want to challenge you to think differently. What if it works? Right? What if it works? And I really, really, really want you to get this concept, because if you do, you will treat what seems like small decisions very differently, because you will steer away from what if this doesn't work to a whole new level of new possibilities where you're like, wait a minute, what if this works? And then you can decide if the possibility is greater than what you're afraid of, right? Okay. So let's look at a few of these. And when we look at them, I want you to think of it this way. These are all little things that are like tangents. It's like taking off on a tangent, right? So if you have two lines that are really close together and they're just running up parallel. It's like, okay, cool. And if one veers off by half a degree, it doesn't seem like much at the time. But if you trace that down a few months later, a year later, a few years later, the difference is literally night and day. So that night and day difference that you want to experience comes from a little decision, something that doesn't look so significant that it should make a huge difference. But if you miss it, what you're really missing is the night and day difference, right? Do you see that? Okay. All right. So let me talk about a few of mine. So one is, when we first started EntreMD wasn't even a thing, right? But we're like, okay, I know for the physician community that bad times are coming. I was like, I know. This is 2016, I knew, but 2018 was when I made the commitment to go all out and help doctors, right? Okay. So I was like, the loss of autonomy looks bad, but it's going to get worse. The burnout looks bad, it's going to get worse. We think we have job security, but a time is coming when we won't, right? I knew all of this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and help. And I started doing videos and people were like, oh, this is helpful and stuff like that. I could have stayed there. And then one day I was like, you know what? I should put on a little event and kind of just share the vision of what I'm trying to do. Now, mind you, at this time, yours truly was that super shy, socially awkward, introverted introvert, right? And so the thought of putting on an event, I was going to hold a lunch. That's what I was going to do. I had never done anything like that. I wouldn't know where to, what place to find. I wouldn't even selling tickets. I was like, I haven't done that before. And I didn't really know people in the area. I would be talking to strangers and it was really difficult. It was really fear-inducing, if you will. And what if it doesn't work? What if nobody comes? What if people come and they're like, what is this? Who cares about this? Because I've gotten that on social media, right? And there was that fear. But I had two choices. What if it doesn't work and sit with that? Or what if it does work and dare my fears anyway? Well, I went with what if it does work. Now, at that event, with all the marketing in the world that I could do, I ended up with 5 doctors and 4 medical students. That's 9 people, right? That I had for lunch. And I think I broke even. I think I broke even at that event. And that was it. And I got up. There's no mic. There's no fancy stuff. I just said, guys, listen, this is what is going on. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing and all of that stuff, right? So when we look at that, not really significant. It's a tangent. It's just, something little, right? But because I did that, I have now been able to host EntreMD Live 3 times. The first one, we had 47 people registered, which is so much more than 5. And the one after that, we had 238 people registered, which is so much more than 5. And the one for this year, we had 533 people registered, which is so much more than 5. Do you see? It started off little, and here we are, right? So what if I'd allowed my fear stop me, and I hadn't done that first one with 5? I wouldn't be where I am today, right? So what if it works? Okay? So that's the first one. The second one was with this podcast, okay? Now, before the podcast, my main content platform was YouTube. And I was doing a lot of videos. I was doing a lot of Facebook Lives and all that stuff, getting my message out. And one day I did a poll. I'm like, how do you guys like to consume information? And people said podcasts. You've heard me tell this story many times. And I was like, my goodness. Now, at this time, I was not a podcast listener. That's the funny thing. I wasn't even a podcast listener. And so I had to look at podcasts. I started, I literally had no podcast subscribed to on my app. I had to go look for the app, and then I Googled, how do you start a podcast? And Buzzsprout had this step-by-step guide. And then so I went to look at the guide and I'm like, okay. And it was like, what if nobody likes it? What if nobody likes your message? What if you can't keep producing content? What if you get all these bad reviews, right? And what if it doesn't work? That was the thought. But what if it does work, right? What if it does work? Now, I didn't know what it would look like if it worked, but I was like, what if it does work? And so I got my phone and I started recording. Now, that podcast, I told you, just celebrated second birthday. So I've been doing this for 2 years. The first year, I had an episode a week every Monday. The second year, and 2 episodes a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And I've never missed a week, ever. And there's not been a week where someone hasn't been like, this podcast has changed my life. We've had 154,000 downloads, 104 countries, 173 ratings, thousands of lives changed, thousands of businesses changed. What if it works? Small decision. I'm going to make a podcast. Big reach. And this is just year 2, right? We're going to be doing this for what, 5 years, 10 years? Who knows? Who knows what happens? Okay. All right. Now, I had been working with doctors one-on-one, and then I did my first 12-week program. It was called the Freedom Formula Masterclass. And I learned a valuable lesson about myself, because at the end of the 12 weeks, we were done. And the people were like, wait a minute, we're done. So what happens? We had built a really strong community. We had something going, and I knew that this was just a stepping stone for what was coming. And so after that, I was like, I am never doing a 12-week program ever. Right? It doesn't work with my personality, doesn't work with my philosophies. It just doesn't work. And then I experimented with a 10-month program, and I did that. It was called the 6-Figure Club. And then after that was done, I was like, I think I'm ready. I'm ready. And the idea was to create a business school exclusively for physicians. Now, you need to understand that, business school? Like, are you serious? Like, Harvard has a business school and you're making a business school? Like, what in the world? What is that? Right? You're going to tell people that? You're going to tell doctors that? And I had so much insecurity and drama around it, right? Because, and I was like, I don't know all the things. Like, I didn't even know how to work Kajabi. I didn't know, there's so much I didn't know. There's so much I did know, and I knew I could help doctors, and I knew my work with them was getting significant results. So I was like, what if this doesn't work? What if nobody signs up? What if I'm not able to get them results? All those kind of thoughts, right? But then what if it works? What if you're able to help doctors at a bigger scale? What if you're able to build a strong community that people can lean on to thrive? What if you're able to affect thousands of lives in that capacity? What if you're able to help people build 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, 7-figure, multiple 7-figure businesses? What if? And so I gulped and I did it. Okay. Had the first class. We had 22 doctors sign up, and then we started. And oh my goodness, it's been 18 months now. And the dreams that I had for the school are slowly but surely all unfolding. I'm talking of the fact that we've served over 100 doctors. We have doctors who are building up to their first 6 figures. We have doctors who have hit multiple 6 figures. We have doctors who have hit 7 figures. We have doctors who have hit multiple 7 figures in the school. Like, it is completely insane. Completely insane. Beautiful community that I can boldly say is the most positive space for physicians on Facebook. Like, most positive, and not weird, kumbaya, la, 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 la kind of positivity. No, people share their wins. People share their challenges. People share their fears. People come in, do debriefs of things that they've done. It is so crazy. So crazy how good it is. And I'm like, what if I didn't do that? Right? So the picture I see now is the picture of what if it does work? And it is working. I could have not made that decision, and I would not have the impact that I'm having, and I would not be serving the doctors that I'm serving, right? Little decision. What if it works? What if it works? Okay. So that's that. And I can take you back even to when the first time that I signed up for coaching, right? It was a speaking program, and a few days ago, my husband sent me the picture we took at that event, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, like the me in that picture and the me I am today are two completely different people. Completely. Like, so evolved, right? So evolved. So this was 4 years ago, and I look at it, I was like, it was a quote unquote small decision, like, right? Like, in the sense that I didn't dramatically change once I signed up for it or anything like that. It was kind of like, will you sign up? Yes or no? Yes or no? What if it works? What if it doesn't work? And it was $43,000. So there's a lot of what if it doesn't work, right? Like, I just, flushed that down the toilet. But what if it does work? And it has worked. It has worked. And so I'm saying this because I want you to do something today. I want you to take some time and look at the decisions that are in front of you. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is not decide, right? Because that's a decision. And that, like the default, as long as you're on planet Earth, the default is always bad, right? Like, so you buy a piece of land, you don't do anything on it. You're not just going to go there and see, wonderful orange trees and stuff. That's not the way that works. You're going to get weed. Okay. So when you don't make decisions, you're signing up for weed, like weeds in your garden. Not good. Okay. So you're going to make a decision. Now, the decision you're going to make is going to be based on what if it does work, right? Don't let fear guide your decision making. So if you've been thinking about starting a podcast or YouTube channel or a blog, do it, right? Look at it, analyze it. If there's a strategic reason why you shouldn't, okay. But if the reason is, what if it doesn't work? I'm inviting you to throw that reason away. You've been thinking about starting a business. Okay. If strategically you should, but what is stopping you is, what if it doesn't work? Get rid of that. Pick instead, what if it does work? If you're supposed to reach out to a certain referral source that if this person decides I am sending my business to you, your business is made, and strategically it makes sense, and the only thing holding you back is the fear of what if it doesn't work, I'm inviting you to throw away the fear and think of the possibility. What if it does work, right? Now, if you are an entrepreneur and you're struggling, or there's more and you want it, or you're like, I don't know the next steps that I should take in this business thing. Like, I've started, but I don't know what to do next. Hear me. You've thought about the EntreMD Business School. It's a small decision that can have big results. Strategically, you should, right? You should. You love this podcast. You've gotten so many results from this podcast. You should. If the reason you shouldn't is strategic, okay. But if the reason is, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't make the time? What if it doesn't work for me? And all those kind of things. I want to invite you to toss that. And instead of that, I want you to look at the possibilities. What if it does work, right? What if it does work? It has worked for so many doctors. You've heard their stories. On our YouTube channel, we have the EBS show with 12 stories from the current students, full interviews. Like, we're talking full interviews. You can listen to those. This thing works. So instead of thinking of what if it doesn't work, think of what if it does. How would my life be different? How would my business be different? What doors would it open for me? What would it make possible for me? I want to invite you to dare your fears and say, yes, go register. EntreMD.com/business. And if you're listening to this when the school isn't open, get on the wait list. We open twice a year. And when it opens up again, get in. Get in. It'll make all the difference. Don't hold back because you're like, what if it doesn't work? You're a physician. The odds of you becoming a physician the odds were against you. The average acceptance rate to medical schools runs 1% to 3%. But you didn't say, what if it doesn't work, and stop? You said, what if it does work? And you went for it. And you got 6-figure debt to do it. You would do these kind of things. It's worked before. It will work again. Okay? So go get signed up. All right? But regardless, make those decisions. Say yes. Move forward. And like me, 4 years from now, you're going to see a picture from today and you're going to be like, wow, how did I become this person? I want that to be your story. Okay? So we are EntreMDs. We don't hold back in fear. We make strategic decisions. We dare our fears and we move forward. So I will see you in the business school. I will see you starting your podcast, YouTube channel, whatever. I will see you up-leveling your game. I cannot wait to celebrate all of it. Go make decisions, my friend. And I will see you on the next episode of the EntreMD podcast. Hey, if you love listening to the EntreMD podcast, I want to invite you to join EntreMD On Demand. It is my signature subscription program that gives you access to a library of business courses designed to help you do one thing as a physician entrepreneur, and that is to thrive. Just head out to EntreMD.com/on-demand, and I'd love to have you join us. See you on the inside.